The JALLC is NATO's Joint Analysis and Lessons Learned Center, of course, and what we do primarily is doing joint analysis. In that way, we contribute primarily, of course, to operations, but we also contribute on the more strategic and political level with the issues that is keeping our commanders awake at night.
So we're looking at root causes, possible solutions for those root causes, and make recommendations to NATO decision makers on how they may solve some of the issues that are of importance to the Alliance.
What is, in my opinion, the most important part is that we share everything what we do with all nations, and the sharing of this information is the most important outcome, I think, for everyone, for every single entity and for every single nation.
The JALLC had its roots in what was called, in the old days, the Permanent Maritime Analysis Team, which of course was a maritime team based in Northwood. But then during the 90s, when we had the NATO operations in the Balkans, it was realized that a more joint approach was needed, and that resulted in a proposal coming up from the military committee that the JALLC should be created, and they also proposed at the same time that it should be situated in Lisbon. The proposal was approved by the military committee in June 1997. It then went to the North Atlantic Council, and that was approved then 2nd of May in 2002. And as of the 2nd of September then it was physically established here in Monsanto in Lisbon, and we got what is called full operational capability, which means that we have the personnel and the capabilities to do what the job was intended for. We had that in March 2006. So of course it is still a young organization and we're still developing, but that is basically the background for where we are today. Very much one of the ongoing projects that we're working is with Harvard University, looking at healthcare as a stabilizing factor in fragile states. It's a very long project, actually. It's a 2-year project, and we are getting to the close of that, hopefully early next year.
The JALLC is doing analysis for the lessons learned process. We use our military analysts, couple them with external expertises, and then form the teams, which then answer expert questions.
We are all embraced by the term comprehensive approach, which means we need to look beyond our military comfort zone and our box. So we need to play with other actors, and we just want to get more knowledge and also to identify our role in this new arena.
The one I am most pleased of is the Operation Unified Protector, the Libya operations, the lessons learned report that was tasked or requested by the International Military Staff and was endorsed by the North Atlantic Council. The complete report went to the Perm Reps on the North Atlantic Council and was endorsed at that level.
Yes, the JALLC has been here in theater since 2004. The first thing that we do is we facilitate JALLC analyses in theater. So if there's an analysis team that has something to do with ISAF, it's our main job to hunt that information down for them, get them the information they need. The other main function that we have is supporting the lessons learned process. And by that, I mean working with the lessons learned staff at HQ ISAF and at the ISAF Joint Command.
NATO lesson learned database started a few years ago as a need to support the lesson learned process. But then we found that was a need to provide something more than just a staffing tool. That's where this NATO lesson learned portal came, that allow people to log in into a system and not only have access to this formal process to manage the lessons learned, but also other lessons in other formats.
The main idea of the portal was to improve the sharing part, not only with NATO, with nations and with the PFP countries as well.
Analysis has always been a big challenge for military forces in general, but especially for NATO. And that's basically what the JALC is doing, conducting analysis. We are providing support to ACT, to headquarter ACT, in their promotion of the lessons learned capability of NATO. So we provide both advice and training to NATO organizations, the NATO nations, but also non-NATO nations. And we are focusing even more now towards PFP nations and trying to support them in their development of their national lessons learned capabilities.
For me, it's very impressive because I think there is no way out doing operations or training or exercises without lessons learned capability and lessons learned operations.
I will have to say as well that the Portuguese authorities are supporting us immensely. It's impressive what they support us with. I find it difficult to find things to complain about, to be honest. And the hospitality of the host nation is incredible, and we can always rely on the Portuguese to support us. It is outstanding.
I think we're probably the only NATO entity that's been involved in every single NATO operation and mission that has occurred over the last 10 years. So I'm quite proud of that as well, the fact that we have been engaged in a whole range of NATO activities, from operations to training events, and indeed to exercises, and on behalf of HQSAT-T in experimentation as well.
From the very early days when our mission was a little bit fuzzy, we managed to establish ourselves as a very credible organization, and we have achieved great results via our report that have been endorsed by our customers at all levels, even at strategic political level. So I think we are making a difference in NATO.
Yeah, the ISAF mission is actually older than the JALC is. So since the JALC was established, the ISAF mission figured very prominently, I would say, within JALC's focus as far as analyses and lessons learned. I kind of wonder what it'll be like after the end of the ISAF mission and what we'll move on to next. But I'm sure the foundation that we've built here, you know, learning and being in the operational arena will serve us well whatever comes.
I think what the JALC contributed in the last 10 years was very helpful to many of our staff elements who do not have an organized lessons learned contribution or capability as we have it here in the JALC. And the JALC, I think, has been a model over the last 10 years. And with our new NATO lessons learned policy, we started building small lessons learned capabilities in all headquarters and all staffs. And we have it now in every headquarter throughout NATO.
So I think we are, and have been over the last many years, been broadening the scope of the original intent of the JALC. And honestly, I think that has been an advantage for the Alliance, and it's been an advantage for us as well.